260 AD, the Roman Emperor Valerian stands in golden armor before the gates of Edessa, confident, arrogant, absolutely certain of victory. He's brought 70,000 legionaries to crush Persia once and for all. Across the field, Persian Emperor Shapur I watches, waiting. What happens next will shock Rome to its core. Valerian doesn't just lose the battle, he gets captured, alive. A Roman emperor, captured like a common thief. The Persians parade him through their cities in chains, force him to kneel as a footstool whenever Shapur mounts his horse. When Valerian finally dies in captivity, they skin his body, stuff it with straw, dip it in red dye, and hang it in a temple as a trophy. For the next 1,000 years, that stuffed Roman emperor hangs there as a warning to the world. Rome never beat Persia. Not once, not ever. And the reason why will blow your mind. Let me take you back to when this rivalry started. 53 BC. Almost 300 years before Valerian's humiliation, Rome is unstoppable. They've conquered everyone. Gaul, Spain, Greece, Egypt, every enemy that stood against Roman legions got crushed. Now Rome wants Persia. Marcus Licinius Crassus is the man for the job. He's the richest person in Rome, maybe the richest in the entire world. He's got 45,000 soldiers, professional killers, veterans who fought in a dozen wars. Crassus doesn't just want to defeat Persia, he wants glory. He wants to be remembered like Alexander the Great. He marches east into Mesopotamia, hungry for conquest. At a place called Carrhae, the Persian army meets him. Crassus looks at them and laughs. There's maybe 10,000 Persians. His army is 4 times bigger. This'll be easy. Then the Persians start moving. They don't charge, they circle, like wolves around a campfire. These aren't heavily armored infantry like Roman legions. These are horse archers, light cavalry on fast horses, carrying powerful composite bows. The Romans form their famous testudo formation, shields locked together like a turtle shell. Arrows can't penetrate. They've done this 1,000 times. They're safe. Except they're not. The Persian arrows are different, more powerful. They punch through shields, through armor, through flesh and bone. Romans start dropping. The legionaries try to charge, but the Persians just gallop away, shooting backwards as they retreat. The Romans chase, get tired, fall back. The Persians circle again. More arrows, more death. This goes on for hours. Crassus sends his son Publius with the cavalry to break the Persian line. Publius chases them for miles into the desert. It's a trap. The Persians surround him, kill him and his entire force. They cut off Publius's head, stick it on a spear, and ride back to show Crassus. Here's your son, Roman. The legions break. Panic spreads. 20,000 Romans die in the desert. 10,000 get captured and marched to the far corners of the Persian Empire, never to see Rome again. Crassus tries to negotiate. The Persians pretend to talk peace, then kill him during the meeting. Legend says they poured molten gold down his throat. Here's your gold, Roman. Drink up. Rome is stunned, humiliated. This wasn't supposed to happen. Rome doesn't lose, especially not like this. But here's what Rome never understood. Persia wasn't trying to conquer them. Persia was playing a completely different game. See, Rome built an empire through conquest. March in, crush the enemy, plant the flag, move on. Roman strategy was simple. Overwhelming force, superior discipline, total domination. They turned war into a science. Every battle had the same formula. Pin the enemy down with infantry, flank with cavalry, destroy them completely. It worked everywhere, except against Persia. Because Persia didn't want to destroy Rome, they wanted balance. Think about that for a second. While Rome dreamed of conquering the entire world, Persia just wanted to maintain equilibrium. They didn't need to invade Italy. They didn't need to burn Rome to the ground. They just needed to make sure Rome couldn't invade them. And they had the perfect strategy to do it. First, geography. Persia controlled the ultimate defensive terrain. Deserts, mountains, rivers. To invade Persia, Roman armies had to march through hundreds of miles of wasteland where water was scarce and supply lines stretched thin. The deeper Rome pushed, the weaker they became. Second, mobility. Persian armies could move faster than Romans could march. Their cavalry covered twice the distance in half the time. Romans were infantry-based, slow, heavy, powerful. Persians were cavalry-based, fast, light, elusive. It's like trying to catch smoke with your hands. Third, hit-and-run tactics. Persians never fought Rome's way. They never lined up for a pitched battle where Roman discipline and armor gave them the advantage. Instead, they harassed, they raided, they attacked supply convoys, they burned food stores, they poisoned wells. They turned every Roman invasion into a nightmare of attrition. And fourth, the composite bow. This weapon changed everything. Persian bows could shoot farther and hit harder than anything Rome had. A Persian archer on horseback could stay 300 yards away and still kill a Roman soldier. The legions couldn't even reach them to fight back. But here's the real secret, the thing Rome never figured out. Persia wasn't trying to win. They just needed Rome to lose. Every time Rome invaded, they won battles, they captured cities, they declared victory. Then they marched home because they couldn't stay. The logistics didn't work, the supply lines were too long, the casualties were too high, the cost was too great. And the moment Rome left, Persia took everything back. Emperor Trajan learned this the hard way in 116 AD. He conquered Mesopotamia, reached the Persian Gulf, and declared total victory. Within 2 years, he was dead, and Rome had abandoned everything he'd conquered. Too expensive to hold, too far to defend. Emperor Septimius Severus tried in 198 AD, captured the Persian capital, looted it, marched home in triumph. Persia rebuilt and came back stronger. Emperor Carus tried in 283 AD, also captured the Persian capital, also declared victory, then got struck by lightning and died. His army went home. Persia recovered. Notice the pattern? Rome could win battles but couldn't win the war, because war to the Persians wasn't about glorious victories. It was about survival, endurance, outlasting the enemy. The Romans saw war as conquest. The Persians saw it as balance. And this brings us back to Valerian in 260 AD. Valerian invades Persia with the biggest army Rome can assemble, 70,000 men. He's going to finish this once and for all. Except Persia uses the same playbook that's worked for 300 years. They avoid direct battle. They stretch his supply lines. They let the desert and disease do half the work. When Valerian's army is exhausted, starving, and desperate, Shapur attacks. The Romans collapse. Valerian gets captured. Shapur parades him across the empire. But Shapur doesn't invade Rome. He doesn't march west to conquer Italy. He goes home because that was never the goal. The goal was to prove once again that Rome couldn't conquer Persia. For the next 300 years, this dance continues. Rome invades, Persia bleeds them, Rome retreats. Neither side can deliver the killing blow. It's the longest stalemate in military history. By 628 AD, both empires are exhausted. They've been fighting for 7 centuries. They've spent fortunes, lost millions of men, destroyed countless cities. And that border between them, it's barely moved. Then something unexpected happens. A new power rises in the Arabian desert, a religion called Islam. Arab armies explode out of nowhere, motivated by faith and fury. They attack both empires at once. Rome, now called the Byzantine Empire, barely survives. They lose Egypt, Syria, North Africa. Half their empire gone in 20 years. Persia? Persia collapses completely. The empire that held off Rome for 700 years falls to the Arabs in just 14 years. By 651 AD,
Persia is gone, destroyed, absorbed into the new Islamic Caliphate. Why did Persia fall so fast to the Arabs when Rome could never defeat them? Because Persia's strategy only worked against Rome. The defensive warfare, the attrition tactics, the cavalry mobility, all of it was designed to counter Roman legions and Roman strategy. But the Arabs were different. They fought like Persians, fast cavalry, hit and run, religious motivation that made them fearless. And they didn't have the logistical problems Rome had. They were used to desert warfare. They traveled light. They didn't need massive supply trains. Persia's perfect defense against Rome was useless against an enemy who fought the same way they did. Here's the tragic irony. Persia spent 700 years perfecting a strategy to stop Rome. They succeeded brilliantly. They never lost. But in focusing so completely on Rome, they became vulnerable to everyone else. When the real threat came, they weren't ready. Meanwhile, Rome, exhausted from centuries of pointless wars with Persia, was too weak to expand or defend properly. The endless stalemate had drained both empires, made them brittle, vulnerable. The Persian secret that Rome never figured out wasn't about superior tactics or better soldiers. It was about understanding that you don't have to conquer your enemy to defeat them. You just have to make conquest impossible. Make it too expensive, too difficult, too painful. Persia proved you could stop the world's greatest military power not by beating them in glorious battle, but by simply refusing to lose. Rome never learned that lesson. They kept trying to win the old way, through conquest and domination, even when it was bleeding them dry. Both empires lost in the end, not to each other, but to the future they were too busy fighting to see coming. That's the real secret, the one nobody talks about. Sometimes the greatest victory is survival, and sometimes survival isn't enough.